by his own stripes. 1 Peter 2:24. 1 Peter 2:24. So if I win Christ, I can say bye-bye to sickness. If I win Christ, then I win freedom. Because in John 8, verse 32, he said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And who is the truth? John 14, verse 6. John 14, verse 6. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So if I can win Christ, I already know the truth. I have the truth. I have the truth. And John 8:36. So if I win Christ, I have freedom. I have freedom because this Christ is the Lord of hosts. Psalm 24, verse 7 to 10. Psalm 24, verse 7 to 10. How do I know he's the Lord of hosts, the controller of all demons and angels? Because Philippians 2, 9 to 10. Philippians 2, 9 to 10 says, at his name, all knees must bow, whether things in heaven, on earth, or underneath the earth. So if I win Christ, I have deliverance, I have freedom, true freedom. If I win Christ, then I have peace. Because he said, that is Christ said in John 14:27, John 14:27, peace I give you, my peace, not the kind of peace in my own. And when he says, I'm giving you my own peace, the one speaking, according to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, Isaiah 9:6, is the Prince of Peace. So the one who is the real custodian of peace said, hey, you can have my peace. So if I win Christ, I have peace. And what kind of peace? The kind of peace that passes all understanding. The kind of peace that people will look at you, how can you be at peace in this present situation? It's not understandable. Well, because I have Christ. It reminds me of the story of a member of the choir in Shomolu, that's in Nigeria, getting ready for church, and the child died. I think, if I remember, I think she was going to sing a solo or something. But there'll be enough time to sorrow when I return. Let me go and sing. And then she was in the church, and of course she locked the door and went to church. And then saw some members of the church. What's wrong with you, woman? You're going to church to lock your child inside. Because while she was singing, the child came back to life. So I was trying to get out. I was knocking at the door, banging at the door, and the people in the compound came to call. That's the kind of peace. How do you explain a member of the choir, she coming to sing when the child is there? If I have Christ, I have that kind of peace. Peace in a storm. True peace doesn't mean the absence of storm. It means peace inside the storm. The kind of peace that can cause Jesus to sleep when the storm was raging. If I win Christ, then I win joy. That my joy might be in you, and that your joy might be full. Is this one saying, you can have my joy? And he said in John 16, verse 24, John 16, verse 24, he said, all you need to do is ask for the joy. What you get when something happens.
Yes.
Joy is something you have. It doesn't matter what is happening. It's like a spring inside. Singing, shouting hallelujah, and people will wonder, what is it that is causing you to be so joyful? You can't. I went there to minister. UI is University of Ibadan, in case you don't know what UI stands for. And he got born again. When I returned the following month, because I used to go every month, he says, I have a question. And when the professor says he has a question, you sit up. I was expecting something really big. He said, I hope it is not dangerous to be glad all the time. He said, because since you came last, since I gave my life to Christ, there's this joy.
Hallelujah.
Joy. And it follows immediately that if I win Christ, I win strength. Why? Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 10. Nehemiah 8 verse 10 says, the joy of the Lord is your strength. If you have joy, strength comes. And according to Philippians 4:13, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. If I just have Christ, the strength to achieve anything will be deep inside me. Psalm 18 verses 1 and 2. Psalm 18 verses 1 and 2 tells us the secret of the strength of David, the giant killer. He said, I will love thee, my Lord, my strength. What's the secret of people who run about almost every day, going from one country to the other, come down from the plane, at times they take you straight to the altar, and so, and they look so tired tonight, by tomorrow you see something new. The strength that comes from Christ, all wrapped around the joy. If I can win Christ, then I win power. Because Matthew 10 verse 1 says he gave them power. When he calls those people, he gave them power. Who is this fellow giving power? Matthew 28 verse 18. Matthew 28 verse 18 says, all power in heaven and on earth has been given unto me. And then in Acts chapter 1 verse 8, Acts 1 verse 8 says, you shall receive power when the Holy Ghost is come upon you. How do I get the Holy Ghost to come upon me? Matthew chapter 3 verse 11. Matthew 3 verse 11 says he will baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire, talking about Christ. So if I can win Christ, the baptism in the Holy Spirit will come, power will follow. And I can go on and on and on, but greatest of all is that if I win Christ, I win heaven. Because in John 14, verse 1 to 3, John 14, 1 to 3, it says, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I'm going to prepare a place for you. After I finish preparing the place, I come for you so that where I am, you will be also. If I win Christ, I win heaven. In John 14, verse 6, John 14, verse 6, he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody can come to the Father except by me. So if I win him, I win heaven. Now, why did he say, I will come back for you? I think I've mentioned that one before. My Father in the Lord told us that the glory of God is so much that that if God were to send an angel for you, the angel will take you to a certain level. I say, I'm sorry, I can't go further because I can't approach the glory. So you're on your own. And he proved it. He says, just check. It's there in the book of Isaiah, chapter 6. And even wipe out angels. So any angel bringing you will get to a certain level and say, I can't go further. But the Son of God can take you through. That's why I say I will come for you to take you to where you can now sit with me on my throne. Now, with this kind of Christ, there must be a price to pay. You can't win something this mighty without paying a price. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, 24 to 27. 1 Corinthians 9, 24 to 27. Paul said, everybody runs in a race. Only one wins the prize. If you want to win the prize, you have to be temperate in all things. There's a price to pay. You have to keep under your body. Romans 9 verse 16. Romans 9:16 says, it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. 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 In other words, you could be determined. I want to run this race. I want to run it faithfully. I want to run it lawfully. I want to discipline myself. If you win, it still has to be because God decided to show you mercy.
Thank you, Jesus.
Told the story before. Again, it was during the Nuga Games. There was a girl from Musuka. She was the fastest thing on the surface, at least of Nigeria at that time. Yeah, during heats, she would leave everybody far, far, far behind. It's not a question of you win by small margin. In our own case, he said to them, we now begin to check who comes second and third. We've done the heats. It was the final. We've already pinned her down for gold. No, nobody else. And your mark said, go. And off she went, as usual. Very, very soon, she was far ahead of the others. Just about 10 meters from the finishing line, she fell. She got up and fell again, and got up and fell again, and then began to crawl towards the finishing line. She finally got to the finishing line, but in the meantime, the fellow who would have been second had come first, the one who would have been third had come second, the one who would never have even had a medal had come third. Mercy. And finally, you need the fire of God. Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6. Zechariah 4, verse 6. Not by power, not by might, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. Zechariah 4, 6. So this morning, I know we all want to win Christ. I know we are ready to pay the price. Yes, we need to cry to God for mercy and for the power of His Spirit.